7:35. You need to come down and join the fun. Real quick, coming up right after the program, we're going to be at Old Time Restaurant on the Square for meet and greet with Judge Dan Kemp, who's running for Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. Welcome, sir. It's quite an honor to have you here, sir.
Oh, Dale, I appreciate it. Thank you for this opportunity.
Along with us, we have County Judge Mickey Pendergrass, Representative Nelda Speaks, Benny Speaks, of course, Bob Zador at mic number 2.
Good morning, y'all.
And
good morning.
How's everybody doing? Bob, you
there? No, go ahead. My time is better spent doing other things.
You know, if you keep up with the political world right now, I think the courts are probably right now in Arkansas one of the most important races we have. I know there's other races going on, but in my opinion, and I know we've got some ethics here that we can't violate here for a possibility of a judge talking about, but I was disappointed in our federal Supreme Court in some of the decisions they're making. And so and we've always said here on the radio, it starts at home. And so, Judge Kemp, I want you to have a minute, just tell folks who you are, what's inside you, what makes you run, and what's in your heart.
Dale, I'm born and raised in Mountain View. Graduated high school there in '69 and went to the University of Arkansas for undergrad and went to law school there. Came back home in '76 and hung out a shingle, set up a solo practice, and practiced law there for 10 years, 9 of which I served as municipal judge. So I heard misdemeanor cases and small claims cases during that time. Of course, I was helping people with their circuit and chancery court cases, trying to help them through their problems. Then in 1986, I was elected as circuit judge, and it's 5 counties. It's Cleburne, Independence, Stone, Izard, and Fulton counties. And I've been reelected 6 times since then. Thankfully, all those have been uncontested,
That's
unopposed.
a good sign. That's a good sign. Mickey knows how that goes, how much that helps.
And I'm serving now as my 30th year as circuit judge. So, yeah, I've got the broad range of experience of deciding cases, criminal cases, civil cases, domestic relations, probate, short period of time, some juvenile cases. And for the past 9 years, I've served as the administrative judge for our district. So I've been preparing the administrative plan we submit for approval to the Supreme Court, do administrative duties, handling the jury panels, the budgets for the quorum courts. As a Chief Justice, there's a lot of administrative duties as well, as far as submitting a budget for the judicial branch to the General Assembly, appointing special judges for district court, circuit court, whenever judges recuse, and other administrative matters. So in addition to being one of 7 who are deciding cases, you're the chief administrative judge as the Chief Justice, and also the chief spokesman for the judicial branch of government. And for the past 12 years, I've served as a drug court judge. And I think it's important that our judiciary comes up with some creative ways to try to help solve some of these habitual problems we have in society, like drug abuse and drug addiction. So I'm a big proponent of these drug courts, which gives nonviolent offenders that have drug problems a second chance to stay out of prison, stay home with their families, earn a living, support their families, pay restitution to victims.
Help that they need.
Yeah, right, and get that treatment they need to deal with their drug problem. And right now we've got 43 drug courts throughout the state, and I think we need to have them in all 75 counties because we're faced with the problem of either building more prisons or hopefully coming up with some creative ways to help people with these problems and hopefully use our taxpayer money wisely and creatively to keep from packing our prisons with these nonviolent offenders and letting the violent ones out early.
Well, Judge, just listening to you there for this brief time, I'm impressed with the fact that you've actually been here in court case, being a judge and on a bench longer than your opponent has even been an attorney, and I think that is a very important thing when you talk about experience. We need solid experience on our Supreme Court in Arkansas, and I believe, Judge, that you bring that experience there that will make a difference.
At the variety of levels, starting where you did and working your way through and being a local guy and being at all of the different phases of the judicial process is very, very important to be able to make an informed decision especially in the Supreme Court, where you're looking at appeals saying, well, there was a trial error here, this wasn't done right. You can look and say, no, that's the way it's supposed to be, and be able to do that.
That
Is it
experience,
informed?
that experience that he has,
Right.
is
It's on an
gonna pay
opinion.
great
It's
dividends
based on
there.
fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would go back, Judge and Dale, that I read a recent endorsement of Judge Kemp from a statewide publication, and his last sentence before he gave the endorsement was something that Judge Kemp just mentioned that's important for the Chief Justice. He has been in charge of administrating as Chief Justice, and those, as county judge, I understand how to get that because I deal with these judges on court security committees and et cetera, and how much that is to organize as the chief administrative judge in a circuit. That is, as this endorsement said, the worst day of the rest of his life is the day he takes office because of the trying to corral the 6 other judges in the judicial system. And I think that experience that he has is highly important in being elected to this Chief Justice position. He's been there, done that at that level, and ready for this because it is, as we know, in the last couple of years we've had a lot of disarray in the Supreme Court, and I think we need somebody there with a steady hand that has the experience to do that.
Yeah. And the voters need to realize how important these positions are.
Yeah.
This isn't just, some guys that are some faraway place or whatever. These people can affect your life every day.
Yep.
By the different laws that get passed and the different ways that they're interpreted and going to be enforced. Please work your way down the ballot and vote for these judges. Judge Kemp is an excellent judge. Sean Womack, again, excellent judge. Cody Highland, excellent judge. And to hit these and Judge Duffy, hit these good conservative men that will do the right thing for all of us. And it's very important that you take the time. Be responsible for yourself. You're a voter.
I think this is the first time that I have seen such a good slate of judges that's come out. Yes. I am real thrilled that you are running and thrilled to endorse you. And I am excited about our slate of judges this time.
Here's what I've seen just in the, 30 minutes that I've had the privilege of meeting Judge Kemp. The foundation that he has. In other words, he's planted solidly in the judicial system, and he has the confidence to do the right things.
Oh, yeah,
you can just see that,
sure.
That's
the
true.
persona.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You bet.
Is part of well, you mentioned being a judge in the drug court and things like that. Those programs that you've helped to facilitate, initiate, wherever we were in the process there. Other programs that may be used. Is there?
Well, Bob, we started a veterans treatment court for our district.
Oh yeah.
And we've had it going about a year and a half.
Uh-huh.
And we're kind of maybe a guinea pig.
It's
I'd
a
say.
pilot program.
We are because most of these veteran treatment courts are in a large city. They're going to be in Pulaski County or one of those surrounding counties. And we are kind of a pilot project because we are a rural county. And we don't have a VA hospital, of course, in our district. It's 2 hours away to go to Little Rock, or North Little Rock, for those services. We do have a CBOC for here in Mountain Home, also in Searcy. And so most of the people in our district are within an hour's drive of those veteran services. So hopefully we make this thing work because, there's a lot of veterans that come through the court system that have some drug problems and other problems where they're entitled to those services, as a veteran.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
And, we want to see that they get those services. So, that's why we're trying so hard to make this program work with the Veterans Treatment Court.
I appreciate that as being a veteran. Bob's a veteran.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate that very much.
And while those aren't Supreme Court issues, they're local court issues, as these other judges that I mentioned are going to fill that. And the Supreme Court will oversee those as those programs work their way up.
Let me take a quick break so we have plenty of time to close out the show. Visiting with Judge Dan Kemp. He's candidate for Supreme Court head.
Don't be trying to think here.
Justice, Arkansas Supreme Court. Now we can go to break. Once I iron my tongue and get the wrinkles out, we'll be right back. 7:48. Continue our discussion with Judge Dan Kemp, who's candidate for Chief Justice, Arkansas Supreme Court. Bob?
We were sitting here at the break and we were talking about different things, qualifications and endorsements and things. And one of the things that come up was the NRA,
yes,
which I know that your opponent is using very strongly in her ads. And I was curious, and we're not really sure why, because Judge Pendergast said that he gets the polls and he never saw that race.
Yes, I get the letters and the recommendations as a lifetime member of NRA. They send me that, and I've never seen her name on the list. Yeah. I've seen senatorial and congressional candidates and some of the district and Senate candidates, but I've never seen a judicial candidate on there recommended coming from the NRA.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual thing. Mm-hmm. And there's any reason why you wouldn't have been, or is it just
usually these organizations send you a questionnaire that you fill out and submit to them, and then they'll make a decision. I didn't receive any questionnaire from the NRA.
Yeah.
And that would kind of keep somebody off the list, wouldn't it?
That'd slow it down if you didn't. If they didn't ask you, it's kind of hard to respond.
Yeah, right. And I've had a concealed carry permit probably more than 15 years. And in fact, I own the judge. So
there you go.
So what? I don't understand.
Did the kids buy you that, thinking it was cute, or?
Well, I had a good friend. Had a good friend that's retired police officer from Kansas City that suggested I get that. So I got that recently.
But the endorsement of the NRA is not the be all end all to this job.
No,
is really where we're at with this, especially if you weren't asked. But
yeah, you can't focus just on one of the Bill of Rights. And,
right.
You focus on the whole Bill of Rights, the whole Constitution, and everything's important. Everything's
one of the matters that comes to my mind about these court races is how, on the federal level, we're seeing legislating from the bench, and some of the other candidates in other courts are campaigning on the issue that they will not legislate from the bench. How?
Yeah, I don't believe that a judge should legislate. I think a judge decides the case that's before them. If you want to make policy, run for the legislature. That's where the policy comes about, in the legislature. And
let me interject. When the judge did my radio program right after we lost the court case concerning the nativity on the courthouse, I said, now let me get this straight. The judge rendered a judgment based on his opinion, but yet we can't do it, but it's not law. You see the little pig trail here?
Yeah.
He rendered a judgment based on his opinion, but it's not law. But yet we can't put it back out there unless we do something else with the Flying Monkey Church or whatever it is. Flying Spaghetti
none or all. That's the judgment from the federal district judge. Yes, none or all. And I'm reminded in listening to Judge Kemp when you asked this question of something, Judge Scalia, who was one of our heroes, I know he was mine. Blessed to have met him last spring when he was here in Mountain Home. Right. And found out he had some friends that I grew up with I didn't know. He was a big coon hunter. But what I was interested in is there's a lot of quotes out there from him. And one that just kind of stuck to me after his passing was, if a judge, or even in my position as an executive officer, if you're happy with all the decisions you have to make in your judgment, you're probably not passing the right judgment.
There you go.
And I thought that is such wisdom, because as a judge, when you're setting cases, and I do it on the inferior level, as the state law puts it, you're not always happy with what you have to come up with, because that's what the law says. This is what the rules are, and that means you're not legislating. You're making decisions.
Part of governance.
You may not like it, and I don't know about Judge Brooks, who made our decision. I just know what his opinion was, but he did help us on the settlement, but he made it where he happy, but that's part of it.
Got to get this on the air. Hey, shout out to Judge Dan and Mickey from Senator Missy Thomas Irvin.
All right, good deal. Yeah, good friend.
Thank you, ma'am. We all have another mutual friend, my friend, the county judge in Stone County, who highly recommended Judge Kemp, and I think they've been family friends for many years, and legal advisor for them, and he's on the opposite political spectrum from me, and he's so proud of Judge Kemp that he just through himself and was guiding you around down at our conference.
Yeah.
So he
Introduced me to a lot of good people down there.
That's quite a fraternity in the county judges, and I know of maybe circuit judges the same way. But when I got welcomed into that fraternity, and you trust a lot in their judgment, because if you don't call them for help when you need it, they're going to be mad at you. So,
in the importance of reasonable men on the bench.
Yes.
And men, I use men in the all-encompassing term, not man.
Yeah.
But the importance of that, of not having that preconceived notions before you come in, or being swayed by other things, to be able to make your own decision based on what you're presented with. And how it gets presented is that's kind of, if the lawyers aren't doing what they're supposed to do, shame on them.
Yeah, judges aren't up there to do opinion polls and then base their decision on that opinion poll. I mean, a lot of times you're going to go against those opinion polls because that's the way the law is. That's the way the Constitution is. You got to stick to the rule of law.
We're down to about 1:20. Judge Kemp, final thoughts. Just let the people know.
Pitch them.
Who you are and what you're going to do.
Dale, appreciate it. Judge Dan Kemp, born and raised in Mountain View, lived there my whole life. I got a broad range of experience as a circuit judge, as a municipal judge before that.
Total years,
judge,
30, 20,
38
years.
38 total.
That's
38
great.
total
That's
years.
great.
And I think I share the same values as all the people here in the Twin Lakes area, Southern Ozarks, around Mountain View.
You're a member of Church of Christ?
Yes, member of the Church of Christ.
Christian
there.
man here, so, hey.
How many judges do you know carry a judge? Give me a break. How much better can this get? Come on.
well, from past history that we had, Judge Kemp and I have mutual friends who's happened to be a family member of mine. But for the research that I have done and for what good it might be in this Baxter County where I officiate, I recommend him to you and appreciate any support you can give him, because I think he's a good man. We need him on the bench.
Yes, we do.
Appreciate
I
that.
endorse
Thank
Dan
you.
Kemp myself, Judge Dan Kemp, Chief Justice, Arkansas Supreme Court. Bob.
You can vote early today, vote early Saturday, vote early Monday. I think they're going to have to work something out with it. That's just
Well, they close on 4 on Saturday and close on 5 on Monday, so
Okay.
the times are
You can
changing.
vote on Saturday.
You can vote on Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Oh, there's the theme song. It's
you
been
go.
quite an honor to have Judge Dan Kemp here today.
Thank you, Dale.
My
Bob.
choice for Chief Justice, Arkansas Supreme Court. We'll be back on Monday. Go vote, everybody. Have a great weekend.